Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Ali, your friendly neighborhood Chanel expert. Today, I picked up the new Chanel Le Blanc makeup collection. This is part of the Spring 2023 makeup series. And I went in store to Holt Renfrew. I saw Julia at the Chanel counter and I made a curated selection of these new goodies and I cannot wait to share them with you today. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. All right, let's break things down. Today is March 1st. Welcome to March. Hopefully spring is going to sprung soon. But there are two new collections available at Chanel, at least here in person at Holt Renfrew in Montreal. There is this big red collection. I don't know what else to call it. It's also for the spring 2023, but these are big face and eye palettes. It's all red. Red eyes, red cheeks, red lips. I made a hard pass, a hard non merci for me. It's really not my thing, but there was also the Le Blanc collection. So pinks, purples for spring. I know, not very groundbreaking, but I definitely like that much more. It's more my speed. So that is what I picked up today. I leaned into the Le Blanc because I wanted light, ethereal, pink and purple for spring. Yes, I am that basic Betty, but don't knock it till you try it. I think it's lovely. It works for me. But I also picked up a very basic black waterproof eyeliner, the shade 88. That is this one here. So let's go ahead and talk about the items that I got. I got the 4 Ombres 68 in Délices. This is limited edition for the spring release. And the packaging here has all the colors on the side corresponding with the palette. Now, when you look at the palette, first of all, to me, it screams Easter. It looks like Easter eggs, little eggies, all the colors here. I was like, wow, definitely spring on the nose, but I kind of like that. And this palette here, I really went back and forth a lot before picking it up. When I saw swatches online, I really wasn't convinced. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times when you see swatches online, people are sometimes scared to touch their product. Like they're just barely touching it and then the swatch looks almost invisible. But touching it in person, playing with the colors, I was convinced. For me, it was the purple here followed very, very closely by this green. It's like a yellowish green depending on how the light catches it. And then this one here is like a very soft peach. And then of course we have to have some sort of red. This is like a dark brown. It's a bit warm. It has a shift of red in it, of course. We can't escape red apparently. But yeah, I ended up getting this. I really wasn't sure at first, but playing with it in person, it actually is much nicer. And then I went in for, basically, this is the one item that I went into the store for, and this is the Fantaisie de Chanel, the Fantasy of Chanel. This is an illuminating blush powder. I knew that I was going to get this basically as soon as I saw it. And again, when I saw swatches online, they weren't fabulous, but touching it in person, it looks really lovely. There's a lot of nice color payoff just from swatching. I haven't played with it on my face yet, but just from swatching it, it's performing really nicely. I think it looks gorgeous. I love the CC logo. And if you look closely, it looks like quilting. On the back, it looks like one of the tweed chairs or tweed fabric with the CC on the front, and it matches the eyeshadow. When you look closely at the eyeshadow, you can actually see some sort of tweed pattern behind and then the CC logo on top of it. So I like that. I like the packaging. There are also two new Baume Essentiel. These are the highlighting sticks. There is Lilas, that is this one here. It's like a lilac, lavender haze vibe. I got this one, and there's one called Dragé that's a bit more pink. Both of those are permanent. I came close to buying both, but I said no, be reasonable. I went with a lilac one because I don't have anything like this in my collection. I don't have a lilac highlighter, so hopefully it works for me. But I went with this one here. I thought it was really lovely, and again, very spring. They also have some Rouge Allure ink, the liquid lipsticks. They have two colors. Both of them were a bit too red for me, kind of dark pinks with red. And then they have two Rouge Coco Baume. Those are the white balm sticks. I have one already somewhere that's a bit of a neutral nude, but they had two new colors. And if I'm not mistaken, all of the lip products are limited edition for the Le Blanc collection. They also added some new eyebrow products. I don't know why they added the eyebrow products to the Le Blanc. They're just the regular eyebrow pencils, but they're permanent as well. And then Julia gave me a couple samples here. She gave me a little luxury sample of the Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum. I love Mademoiselle. And this is the perfume extract here. Gorgeous. I love that. It's so pretty. It's so cute. I love it. I will go ahead and provide Julia's contact information. If you live in Canada, basically, she can do shipping. Maybe if you live outside of Canada as well, I don't know. Go ahead and reach out and see what she can do. And she also gave me some samples of the Rouge Allure Velvet. I love these lipsticks. I bought 3 recently when they came out in January. So I love these. I love the formula. Very long wearing, very comfortable. So these are just more shades for me to try out. And then there is a new powder foundation for Le Blanc. Unfortunately, the only shade available in the sample variety is the shade 10. So this is the Le Blanc. It's supposed to be a brightening compact foundation, but the shade 10, like I usually wear a 30 or a 40. So I think 10 might give me a bit of a ghost face. I might try it underneath my eyes, but this is like a miniature and it's actually quite nice for a miniature of a powder foundation. I could try it out for the texture, see if it's drying or not, but I don't think I'll be able to do like a full review. I'll see what I can do. But anyway, I just like the quality of this sample here. It's a shame they don't have more shades available. And starting very soon, starting March 6th here in Canada, there is going to be a price increase in Chanel products, makeup, skincare, perfume, everything. There is an increase every single year. I did not get a chance to look at the list of the prices, but I heard that the price increase this year is going to be a doozy, like a lot. Julia said, I think the lipsticks now are like 52 and they're going to jump to like 56 or something. 57 maybe. Like everything is going to jump a lot. So letting you know, you have a few more days if you need to renew anything like a perfume, skincare, it's all going to jump like a lot, okay? Be prepared. I kept my swatches here on the back of my hand because sometimes when I'm doing a makeup look and I'm not exactly certain what to do, I just swatch everything on the back of my hand and then I sort of look at it like it's a palette just so I can sort of see for myself where I'm going to go. So I think I will create 2 separate looks today with the palette here. And if you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Ali. I used to work for Chanel and I don't anymore, but I know a whole lot about the brand and I like to reuse a lot of my makeup. So I'm going to use and reuse this palette a lot. I like to mix and match with older collections, with different brands. So if you're looking for someone who's going to give you lots of inspiration on how to use up what you own, I would recommend you subscribe. Before we dive in, let's just examine the textures. This one here, the latest color, I love this one. This definitely has the most satiny, it's not quite metallic, but it has the most intense satiny, slight metallic finish. It's the most sparkly. It's not glittery, but it has more sheen to it. These 2 over here, these feel and look like just a classic satin. It's not matte, just like a nice classic satin. And then this one up here, this is more matte. It's not a hard matte or a powdery matte, but it definitely is matte compared to everything else. So let's dive in. All of my brushes are listed down below, so go ahead and check that out. I'm just going to start with this color here, and this will be like a transition color because it is our only matte shade in the palette. This peach is quite light on me. It almost looks like a flesh tone, like you can see a difference, but it is quite light and quite sheer. So now I'm actually going to use one of the little sponge tip applicators that came with, and I'm going to go into my beautiful purple color here. These little sponges are not good for blending. They're good for transferring color. If you just want to take your shadow from point A to point B, it's wonderful for that, but that's about it. It's not going to blend anything. So if you just want to do this, like press, it's fine. Then taking the tip of the sponge, I'm just tracing some of this color here. It's called Les Délices de Chanel, but it's definitely very pastel. This is, yeah, I mean, I've talked about wanting pastels and purples and pinks for spring for a long time, and I'm glad that they finally delivered on it. I think it's, so far I'm liking it. I'm going into this color here, and I'm just switching over to this side here for the moment, just to lay this down. Now I think I'm going to go into this color here, and I really hope it doesn't turn too red. It sort of just looks like a little bit of a darker brown. It's like a warm brown. This was the color that kind of threw me off when I was looking at it online, because to me all the other colors scream pastel. And then this one here, I was like, what is this? It's satiny. It's almost like, not quite a brick red, but like, or a brick brown, but almost like a peachy brown. Going into this yellowish green color, I am going to press it on top of the purple here. And then I'm going to take this green, yellowish green here, and I'm placing it on this part of the lid where there's nothing else. And you can see that it looks much more yellow on this side because I didn't put anything else on the lid. So I just wanted to show like how different the palette could be. I'm going into this darker color here, and this is like a dual-ended pencil brush. Just tracing some of this darker color here, and I'm adding just a little hint the outer corner. And with my same sponge tip from before, I'm just going over the purple just to make sure that I didn't erase any of the purple with the light pastel color that I went into before. For the liner, I'm going into my waterproof liner in 88. It's an intense black. Then the mascara, I'm going to use La Base. It's a mascara base, and then the Volume de Chanel in number 10. So this is the eye look with a bit of liner and mascara. On this side here, I just feel like it's a little bit too red. I don't know, something here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the purple. I have a bit of the purple on the brush here. I don't know, to me, it just needs a bit more purple. So I'm just going to do this over top of what I've already done. For the foundation, I'm going into the Les Beige Water Fresh tint, and this is the shade Medium. This is a very sheer, lightweight complexion product. I even struggle calling it a foundation, but I really like a no makeup look for my complexion. So this is really nice. And there is the Complexion Touch, which offers more coverage, which I also have and is nice, but I want something really light for today's look because the eye look is quite light and quite pastel, so it just seems to make sense to me. As usual, my concealer is the Sublimage concealer in the shade 32. This is part skincare, part concealer. It's very expensive, but I think it is 100% worth it because it just does everything it says it's going to do. It's going to blur, it's going to hide imperfections, it's going to be moisturizing. It doesn't move at all. Like, it doesn't crease, it doesn't budge. Once you blend it, it sets. So I do think it is worth the money, unfortunately. So let's talk about the eyeshadow. while the concealer just takes a second. So because these are pastels, these are going to be lighter, which I have to remind myself. I wish that this was not here. I wish that this color was just a deeper purple. I don't know what it is about Chanel. They just can't get away from red. They need to put like a little bit of, obviously this isn't as red as my nail polish, I know, but it's like everything has to have a little bit of red, warm hue to it, which is very annoying. So I do wish that this was not here and that something in the vein of this purple was here instead, but darker. Like I do think this palette needs a dark color, but I just wish it was a better shade personally. I do like these 3 other colors. It is very light, it's pastel. I do like this yellowish green a lot. I think it works best on its own, or if you wet it with some setting spray, something like that, it definitely will be more intense. And I have a feeling that this purple will also be more intense once I use some setting spray on a brush. It'll be just even more purple. It is nice, it is light. It's just, I recently did a video of my entire Chanel purple eyeshadow collection, and I do have other purples that are just more intense, but this is Le Blanc. When it comes to Le Blanc makeup, it always is very light or ethereal, often pastels, and it is always lighter. It's never going to be this like super saturated, intense color payoff. That's sort of just the nature. And these are pastels at the end of the day. Could this be more intensely purple? Yes. But let me show you a couple of my favorite purples. First and foremost, we have this single here. This is Vibrant Violet number 30. So this is a single shadow. It is incredibly purple. Let me go ahead and swatch it well underneath here. Bam. So purple. It's a satin. It's not too sparkly. It's like a soft satin velvet matte. Well, no, it has a satin to it. It's quite nice. I think a shade similar to this would have been better suited in this palette here, personally. So I think I would use this with the palette with these 3 here. I would mix this one in here. And then if you just want a quad, standalone palette, look no further than 228 Tissé Cambon. This is what I think a perfect spring palette should look like from Chanel, or just period. It is purple, it is pink, and it has more color payoff. But again, this is not part of the Le Blanc, so it will have more color payoff naturally. This is Tissé Cambon here, and yes, I have done a tutorial on this very recently. Go ahead and watch that. So again, a purple like this would have been better suited here, but that would go against the whole Le Blanc ethos of light and ethereal. But if you want a standalone palette, like if you're watching this and you're saying like, why would I get this if she doesn't think that it's perfect on its own? I understand that. This may be for someone like, listen, if you want a very light makeup look, if you have more mature eyelids, or if you just don't like intense, super dark makeup, I think you would like this because it is lighter, it's pastels, it's ethereal. But if you just want a purple palette for spring and you're not too shy about color intensity, I say get 228 Tissé Cambon. I just think this one's better as an overall purple palette, in my opinion, in my humble opinion as a Chanel expert. You know, take that how you will. Let's go ahead and blend this. The reason that I let this set, I do this with every single concealer, is it just offers more color payoff. It just covers more. So whatever concealer that you're using, go ahead and do this. Just, you know, finish your coffee, answer an email, do whatever. All right, let's go into the cheek products. Now, I often like to use this underneath my foundation, so I just layer it wherever highlighter goes. This time I forgot. So we're going into Lilas right here. This is lovely. It's purple, but it's not that purple, to be honest. I mean, it's like the palette. It's more of a lilac color, and Lilas means lilac, so that makes sense. I'm just going to apply it pretty liberally, and then I will blend it out. I feel like on my forehead in the reflection, I can sort of see the lilac sheen a little bit more. It's almost like a lilac pearlescence. The other one was pink and it looked a bit darker too. Honestly, I came very close to getting both, but they are permanent. The two stick highlighters, they're permanent, so you know, I could get one. I could get the other one at a later date. I just wanted this one because it's different than what I have. It's very healthy, dewy, glass skin, like, oh, you know, look, it's gorgeous. I think it looks really nice. I don't think that the lilac is too lilac. At first I was really concerned. I was very curious, but I was like, how is this gonna look with my skin tone? But I think it's working out nicely. Now, let's dive into the blush. Oof, this looks so beautiful. Let's just take one last moment to appreciate it before I dip in and swirl around with my brush. I'm sort of just tapping into it at first to try to preserve as much as I can. I think the payoff is nice. I'm not really dipping into my palette very firmly. I'm just sort of tapping in lightly, and it's giving a nice, it's a nice pink. It's not too pink, but I love their illuminating blushes because it's giving blush and highlighter 2-in-1. I think this is so pretty. It's the perfect pink. It's not too pink. It's not bubblegum. And the illuminating part is nice as well because it isn't too much, because I did apply the stick highlighter underneath, but it's not like it's not too much. It's just looking very healthy, very luminous. I think you could get away with just wearing the blush on its own, and it's not glittery. Like, you can see a little bit more here. It just looks luminous. It reminds me of those like hourglass blushes. That's like a swirl of highlighter mixed in. It's very, very beautiful. The illuminating blush, 10 out of 10. Would get it again, would recommend it. It's so beautiful. I love their illuminating blushes. They often come out with these for like spring, summer. You know, they had some coral ones in the past. They had some plummy ones. Beautiful. Yeah, 100%. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And the highlighter stick too. I just think it's nice. I think the highlighter stick isn't too lilac. It doesn't look gray on my skin. It's not too much. It's just beautiful. If you've tried these highlighter sticks, I think you would love this shade, especially if you just want something new and different. 100%. The eyeshadow, I think I made my statement pretty clear. It's fine. Like, I don't regret buying it, but it's also not, I don't think it's replaced my favorite purple spring palette. What I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to mix it with my other favorite purples and make it work for me. So if you already have other purples at home, like liners or eyeshadows, you could get this if you wanted more intensity. Like, if you don't want anything more intense, I think it'll be fine. But if you want more payoff, I don't know. It's your money. You decide for yourself. For the lips, I'm going into my lip liner here, number 162. It's a nice nude brown because I have a lot of pink on my cheeks. I don't want to go too pink. And then I have the Rouge Coco Bloom. This is a nice buttery, glossy lipstick in the color 110 Chance. This liner is like my lip but better in a brown. It's like if my lip color was a perfect nudie brown, it would be this lip liner here. And I was using the number 1 de Chanel Lip and Cheek Balm in Healthy Pink beforehand. I did a nice healthy slathering of that before. Now, in order to complete our look, we have to go into a fragrance. Of course, that completes our entire makeup. I'm going into the Chanel Paris Paris. This is part of Les Eaux. It's one of the exclusive lines. It's one of the perfumes. It's going to go up in price a lot. So I'm going into Paris Paris right now. This is a very modern take on a rose perfume. It has lots of rose, but it's not too heavy. It's a little bit sweet at the same time. It's really lovely, and the bottle is pink. It says Paris, Paris on it. So I just think that this whole look, I am ready for Paris in the spring. Please and thank you. So that is it. That is the tutorial, the review, tutorial number 1 with the Le Blanc collection. Leave a comment down below. If you've made it this far in the video, leave a little white heart emoji in honor of Le Blanc, because Blanc means white. So yeah, in honor of the video, leave a little white heart emoji. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I think the blush, I'm sorry, I'm just staring at my complexion. Like, look at how luminous it is. It's very, very beautiful. The blush and highlighter stick, 100%. The eyeshadow, you know how I feel. So yeah, leave a comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And I think that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.